Okay, so this is part 2 of our Chapter 5 video series. The first thing we have to do is get HyperV installed. And in order to do that, you have to have a platform capable of running the server version of HyperV. There are some subtle but important differences between HyperV at the desktop. You just kind of enable the Windows feature in Windows 10, and Hyper-V at this on the server, which you will enable by turning on the Hyper-V role. So if you haven't done it yet, you need a guest OS running Windows Server, and we'll talk about how to choose which version of Windows Server right now. Now, all versions of Windows Server 2016 include Hyper-V except Essentials. Essentials does not support Hyper-V. The two options are Standard and Data Center. Standard will provide licenses for a couple of virtual servers, and Data Center allows a much greater capacity. There's also a Hyper-V server, which only runs Hyper-V, does not provide any additional services such as DHCP. So if it is just a virtualization platform and is doing nothing else, it's say a member server on an Active Directory domain, Hyper-V server would be an option. But if the server you're going to build needs to be in a domain and needs to be hosting said domain, I mean, in my particular case, I've got a DC already that I'm going to probably tie my Hyper-V server into. It may also become, I may promote it to be a domain controller in the domain I already have. Your instructions apparently are to take that the member server you'll build now in the work group, the standalone server you'll build now, create, and then in Chapter 6 you'll create, you'll promote it. You'll create a domain, promote it into an Active Directory server. So we'll need a couple of things to get Hyper-V installed. We need Server 2016. We must have the 64-bit edition. Hyper-V in Server 2016 will support both Gen 1 and Gen 2 VMs. Gen 2s can only be 64-bit. So in order to support that 64-bit OS, you need a 64-bit OS. You also need a processor that supports SLAT, second level address translation, and hardware virtualization, and no execute, enhanced virus protection, or DEP. If you don't have those things, I believe Hyper-V won't even run. Now, there are some flavors, and we'll actually, before I go on, the next section we're gonna talk about creating a virtual machine. There are a number of operating systems that Microsoft officially supports, and we'll cover that in the next section. So thanks for watching.